We were delighted to receive notification that Lou Kindschi, one of our Oregon High School social studies teachers, was going to be recognized by the state of Wisconsin and the Department of Public Instruction as the first ever Global Educator of the Year. This event took place at the State Education Conference in Milwaukee this past January, and I, along with several board members, Steve Zock, Gwen Mateson, and Barb Feeney, had the opportunity to see Dr. Tony Evers and his staff present the award in person to Lou. It was at the conclusion of the third day of our general session event in Milwaukee, and it was a wonderful opportunity that celebrated a very talented school teacher, and the best part is it's a school teacher in our backyard right here in Oregon, Wisconsin.
We had the great opportunity and pleasure to stop by and talk to Lou Kindschi, a teacher at Oregon High School. She is the first ever Global Education of the Year recipient of the award. And we're sitting down with her today to talk to her about her life in teaching, the award and students and whatever comes up. Lou, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
It's great to have you.
It's great to be here.
Could you address the question of global education and what it means to a student to have it incorporated in their education today?
Sure. I think a good global education should seek to help a student acquire global skill sets and what we would call global competencies. And those are terms sometimes that sound really general, and so one of the first questions people would ask legitimately is, what does it mean to have global competencies? And so we look at the world that our students are entering today as adults, and we ask ourselves what kinds of skill sets will serve them best so they can move forward in a changing world, so that they feel like they are a participant, that they are a global citizen who is able and capable of working in this changing environment.
I personally love the idea of having global education access for every student, because whether we're in a small rural community, a suburban community, or a metropolitan community, all of us are tied together as a world. When we think of it from an economic standpoint or an educational standpoint, the likelihood of us traveling or working within a business that's connected to other communities, other states, and a global nature is just so strong. We need an appreciation of places that perhaps we haven't traveled to, but with other human beings that are going to be part of our worldwide community.
Is it a completed course that they go through in high school as they move forward? And at the completion of the course, what transpires from grade to grade or from class to class for the student?
I would say that an ideal global education is not just one course. I think that an ideal global education would be incorporated across all disciplines, so that when a student is taking a particular course that might have been traditionally seen as a specific topic, such as science or math, it's science or math in a global context. So there's always opportunities to teach the core curriculum or courses across the high school, grade level and across subject matter that has a global aspect to it, a global context. And this way students start to see the relevancy of their education as it relates to them as a person in this bigger world.
Have you seen as a teacher how it has changed their perspective of the world in terms of reflections? Have they reflected back on the courses to you?
Well, that is the goal, actually. Oregon High School now has a Global Scholar program, and students can apply to be a Global Scholar upon graduation, which would be on their transcript when they graduate. And part of that process is actually reflecting upon their content, their coursework, volunteering, and other literacy aspects of a global education. Now, this is not required for every student. This would be an elective type of a program, but certainly through that process, yes, you do see students reflecting about what does it mean to them to see themselves as a global student and a global citizen, and how their education appears more relevant or different to them as a result.
It has changed a lot. When we think back 30 or 40 years ago, global education, we were doing trade issues between countries, and now with the internet and computer technology and our ability to Skype with people living all over the world, the connection to global education is no matter where you live in the world, we're connected to one another. Our world has in essence become smaller, and an appreciation for other cultures, other customs, other countries just continues to expand our ability to deal with people effectively. And that to me is really the nutshell of global education. Learning about how other people live their lives, what their cultures and customs are, and then applying that to our life right here. It focuses on collaboration, it focuses on ability to work together, and it focuses on teaching and learning a new experience that, frankly, we may not have in South Central Wisconsin.
You mentioned coursework. Can you give us just a snapshot of what some of the coursework would be for a student?
A student who is seeking the Global Education Achievement Certification, which is our Global Scholar Program, would have courses that are already approved by the Department of Public Instruction as having enough global rigor and content rigor to qualify as an actual global course. The idea eventually is that there will be more and more courses that incorporate and infuse a global context as the teachers move forward and more and more classes become part of this program.
Have the students been receptive to the program?
Oh, absolutely. Because that's an ideal situation, right? The more you learn, hopefully, the more questions you do have, because you have something to wonder about. The more information that you see that's affecting your world, the more questions that you have. It's really logical. And quite often I say to the students, it's not so much about the answers, it's about the questions that you're forming that show that you are really thinking and actively looking about you in the world. So yes, they do have more questions.
Well, the students have been having the benefit of having Lou as a teacher for many years in the Oregon School District, but I also think it's very important for students to see distinguished success at a high level, and to be recognized the way Lou was recognized as the first ever global educator. It brings home the importance of global education. It shows to the student that regular people, as one of their teachers, can be recognized on a statewide basis, and it gives us a sense of pride. It's always great to recognize educators, but it's even a little better when one of those educators is one of our own. And I know the teachers and the students and community members and parents have great pride in the fact that an Oregon educator has had a distinguished career and has been recognized by her peers across the state of Wisconsin.
And you teach the course, the program.
I'm the coordinator for the
coordinator.
Global Education program right now, yes. I'm a team member, though.
You're a team member.
There are other people who are really crucial in the program right now as well.
Is it evolving, the program?
Oh, absolutely. We're kind of on the front end of it. And it's really exciting because the program was intended to help school districts in a very organic way become more global, and to find the tools to understand, how can I teach a course with a more global content? If I'm studying water issues in environmental science, gosh, it would be really great to partner with a school in some other country, and we could be analyzing our water quality at the same time. And the great thing with technology today and communication capabilities, there really is very little reason why you cannot actually have partnered schools and projects and help students work together to solve problems, not just in the classroom, but across the world. Wisconsin has about 74 schools at the present time who have been approved through the Department of Public Instruction, and more coming on board all along. So other schools are also realizing that a global focus is a very important part of almost really any school's effective mission to serve our students as they move forward.
Why should we care about global education?
We should care about global education because, as I say to my students, whether you think you'll work abroad or get a job in some other country, which it could very well happen, whether or not you do that, the world has already come to you. And so if they're working for a company, let's say, clients or suppliers will be now from other cultures and other countries. If you work in the service field of any sort, police work, health field, you're going to have patients and people that you need to help and serve that come from other countries. And so the world is already here, and the more we can be sensitive and understand how other people see the world and how they move in the world, the better off we'll be.
I think the importance of a global education for each student is critical to their success, critical to their understanding of the world we live in. And to me, if I were to identify one word, I think of connections. The connections that we can make with other individuals from other countries, other cultures, other communities is so critically important. Even in Wisconsin, we're a small state compared to other states, but the differences between northern Wisconsin, south central Wisconsin are significant. When we move that to a global perspective, living in other cultures and other communities, we all have something in common. We're all humans. It gives us a better sense of what life is, what's important to different cultures, and it gives us a sense of respect, appreciation, and compassion for others.
Do you get parents' input?
I do, and I think that I'm thrilled to work in a district where so many parents understand that this is an important initiative and want to see their students be confident with global skills and moving forward to grab onto opportunities as they come for more global education. Yes, I've had quite a bit of comments.
What do we do great?
One of the things that we're doing really, really well is we provide students with so many options here. There are options for clubs, there are options for courses, there are options for arts, there are options for, so that's why I like to try to encourage students to try things when they're in high school, because all these opportunities are here for you. And it's okay, this is to have the confidence to take a little risk, to try something that you might be a little bit out of your comfort zone, because there are people and other students there to help you. And so I think that's one of the things we really do well. And our exchange students are always so impressed when they come from another country and they go, I cannot believe all the things that you could do here if you wanted to. The problem is there's too many. There's too many choices.
It's nice to have the choices, isn't it?
It is wonderful.
Because there's so many different
wonderful
personalities.
Yep, absolutely.
Can you tell us your feelings about receiving the award and what happened that day?
Well, I was nominated, first of all.
Oh, you were nominated, okay.
So nominated, and then in the nomination process, you have to write different essays, answer questions. Well, first I was really honored because I do know that some of the other candidates for this award are so worthy because they also care and are so passionate about global education. So to even be in the company of such esteemed educators, I'm really very honored to have received the award. It's thrilling to be recognized for something that you've loved for a long time and that you've put energy and care into. Here at the high school, I've developed 2 different courses on global education, and I've worked really hard for a while on the Global Education Achievement Certification Program. and I have a club that has a global focus, and so many projects that I've been engaged in, as well as my own continuing education and programs that I've taken part in internationally. To see it kind of culminate into something that is a recognition is just real icing on the cake. I mean, I'm happy to have had the opportunities that I've had, but to be recognized for it is something that I wasn't really expecting.
Lou, it's been a pleasure. I thank you for taking the time to be with us and talk about teaching.
My pleasure.
And,
thank you.
We appreciate it.